Like if I've had an experience and I can share it with somebody and it makes a difference in their life, that's kind of what it's all about. Sure, it's nice to have the achievement myself, but man, it's so much better sharing it with somebody else.
Welcome to Biz Help for You, the show that saves you the expensive learning curve by providing advice from industry experts in every facet of the entrepreneurial journey. Too many small businesses collapse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 20% fail within their first year, and less than 35% make it to their 10th anniversary. The goal of this podcast is to change that statistic. So if you're interested in learning more to be a successful entrepreneur, tune in today.
Let me tell you a little bit about my guest today. Larry Easto is a seasoned professional with over 40 years of experience as a lawyer, consultant, writer, trainer, and coach. His work emphasizes experiential learning, helping clients develop their own solutions to challenges and opportunities. With a client-focused approach, he equips individuals with tools to make informed decisions rather than dictating solutions. Since 1993, Larry has authored over 30 books, ebooks, and video courses, offering practical strategies for professional and business growth. You can gain insights into scaling your service-based business by focusing on your strengths, setting clear goals, and maintaining consistent actions to achieve clarity and success. So Larry, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Before I get started on questions on the topic, I would love for you just to share a little bit of your journey to helping others through your work.
Okay, well, I'll fess up. I am an entrepreneur by default. I never ever even thought of doing it. I wound up after a couple of disagreements with lawyers I was working for. I wound up starting my own law practice, and all of a sudden thought, hey, wait a minute, I got to run the business now. It's not just waiting for the paycheck. I got to do it. So it was a lot of on the ground learning. Didn't really know what I wanted, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know anything about it. So as things arose, I kind of learned and did it. Moved on. I left law, and then I did some consulting, and all of a sudden I thought, hey, I got to do some marketing. What is this marketing stuff all about? I don't think I like it. I don't, but I did it and got into it and found ways to deal with that. And as I evolved, as my career evolved, as my interests evolved, I narrowed what I was doing from basically anybody who was prepared to pay my fees to helping basically self-employed people market themselves, and not so much market as succeed. When you're running your own business, certainly marketing's important, but the whole success thing, what they teach in law school and what you see online, it doesn't all apply to running your own business. So I got into, I guess, combining personal growth and personal development into business growth and business development. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I have the luxury of being in what I call my legacy project, that what I'm trying to do is pull some kind of meaning from the past X number of years so that I can share some of my life lessons learned with others so that they don't have the hassle of doing some of the really dumb things I've done, and that they can benefit from my experience.
Well, so many people become entrepreneurs, not because they plan to, because they fell into it, and there are so many things that you have to do to run your company. And so maybe someone even started a business because they thought, oh, I love, making cookies, but they didn't realize all the other things, all the admin, all the, like I said, the marketing and all of that that goes along with it, and so many businesses fail because they don't have everything they need, to succeed, which is why I have this podcast, right? I want to educate people. So I'm glad that you're here, to share your wisdom as well. And people can hopefully learn from the stories, that you share, that you've gone through as well. And, they can take the tips that you can provide to them and implement them for success. So
yeah,
I think, it's so important.
That's part of what I guess it's sense of purpose or sense of value for me. I love the experiences I've had. I've had some absolutely amazing experiences, but they get even better when I share them with others. Like if I've had an experience and I can share it with somebody and it makes a difference in their life, that's kind of what it's all about. Sure, it's nice to have the achievement myself, but man, it's so much better sharing it with somebody else.
Exactly. Well, how can entrepreneurs then identify and amplify their unique strengths to drive their business growth?
Well, it starts out with a really clear understanding of who you are. And this is kind of funny. I've had a number of conversations, and the theme of what did you want to do when you're 3 years old comes up. And I laugh about that. I think, gosh, when I was 3, I wanted to be a garbage man. And it's kind of a funny story, and I've got all sorts of funny stories about being a 3-year-old pretending I'm a garbage man. But when I look back at it, I realize now that probably it was an inner desire to organize, not to organize other people, but to planning and organizing and keeping things neat and tidy. So when I track what I did, I became a lawyer by default, but certainly as a lawyer, I was really instrumental in helping a lot of people clean up a lot of messes. And I was instrumental in helping people plan things. And the same thing when I was consulting, and the same thing, everything I've done. I listened to a podcast this morning, and the guest was talking about planning communications. Well, again, that's what I've always done. I've always been part of the planning. And it's not that I'm a control freak, but I like to see a positive outcome. So I think it starts with what are you all about? Why are you here? What really turns you on? What really, really makes you happy? And then figure out how to turn that into a business. I mean, if somebody is great making cookies, I want their phone number. But great making cookies. And then the next thing is, who's going to buy your cookies? And then how are you going to get the cookies to them? And how are you going to charge for the cookies? And all of these kinds of things. So it starts from what you love doing and goes to building on your strengths. And it's interesting because bookkeeping is one of the things I've always hated it. I mean, I put a dollar sign in front of a number and I'm confused. But if there's a bookkeeper helping my life, life is gorgeous. Life is perfect.
But see, that's my strength, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where, we all have our strengths.
Sure. It's a case of building on my strength and hiring to my weakness. And that's the secret there. We can't be everything to all people. It'd be nice to, but we can't do that. So it's building on our strengths.
So if somebody is starting a business, or maybe they've been operating a business for a while, but they're wearing all the hats and they are trying to do things that really aren't their strengths, or they're not their passion, how would you coach them to find someone that would be a great addition to their team, that they can then hand that task off to them?
Good question. I think I would go back to my consulting stage. And as a consultant, I use the SWOT analysis a lot: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So in the case of okay, what is working really, really, really well? What do you love doing? What absolutely fills you with joy that when you do it, you just want to tell the world? And what scares the bejeebers out of you? You get up and you've got something to do. What scares the bejeebers out of you? Whatever scares you, whatever turns you off, whatever isn't working, that's where you need the help. And you don't need just somebody to do the mechanical thing. You need somebody you can get along with. I mean, there's the technical skills, but there's also the personal skills. Like it or not, we collaborate all the way across. I remember so many times, especially in law, when I was struggling with something, my staff were just amazing in saying, "Hey, Larry, have you tried this? Or what about that?" May or may not have been a legal issue, but it was somebody to talk to. It was a collaborator. It was an outside voice. And even in coaching, I've had a couple of situations that I was kind of not stymied, but I was struggling with something. And I'd mentioned it to a bookkeeper at the time. And I said, "I got this horrible problem with this person who," and she says, "Well, what about this?" And I paused. I thought, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I think in addition to the technical skills, there has to be some kind of a personality, some kind of a person behind the skill that can add value to the business and can help you market it, can help explain to clients what's going on. It's like having a junior partner. It's like having Yes, someone in there. So it's personal compatibility and professional competence. I think they go hand in hand.
For sure. So then what strategies can service-based business owners use to set their goals, and have those actionable steps to reach the goals that they've set for themselves?
Well, there's a number of ways of going about this, and that's a loaded question to ask a planning geek, I tell you. You can go all in. One of my favorite people is Jim Bunch, who's got 9 environments, and it's a case of maximizing your enjoyment of each of these 9 environments. I've kind of simplified it. I think the simple things are: what do you want to have, what do you want to do, and who do you want to be? And you take that as far as necessary for that. Having things, that's fairly easy. I mean, we can buy most of the time what we want. Doing, that's kind of easy too. It's who do I want to be? That's where it gets a little tricky. But you start to put them together. Who do I want? What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? And that gives a pretty good outline in terms of goal setting. And then it's just a case of saying, okay, in order to get there, 3 years from now, what do I have to do 2 years from now? What do I have to do a year from now? What do I have to do a month from now? So, and we get into that, the whole area of the law of attraction kicks in. The law of attraction helps us clarify our goals. And then we do inspired action. We take the inspired action. So instead of just saying, I want to be there 3 years from now and doing nothing, we have to figure, okay, so how am I going to get there from here? What do I have to do? Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. What do I have to do right now to get to where I want to be? And it could be something really insignificant or seemingly insignificant, but it's taking action instead of just, I wish it's not going to happen. It might happen, but not likely.
But some people are not the planners, right? They're very spontaneous. It's really hard for them to plot out, all of these steps. So you're talking about, figuring out what it is you want to do and what actions you need to take. So how would you help the person that struggles with the actual planning and figuring out what those steps look like?
Well, I get that, because I tend to be spontaneous sometimes too, and I find myself going, whoops. I've learned along the way a very simple question: how is this action going to help me get to where I want to be? What contribution is this going to make? And I'm a good rationalizer too. I mean, if I'm sitting on my patio talking to the squirrels, I can say, now, how is this going to help me get to where I want to be? Well, okay. Part of me says, it's not, dummy, it's not. But part of me says, it's the space you need to think. It's the space you need to regenerate. So it goes back to knowing yourself. Are you kidding yourself when you're sitting out there, or is it really productive time? And it's being knowing yourself and being honest with yourself. Fortunately, I tend to be fairly disciplined, and I think I know the difference between playing goofing off and meditating. But we need both. We need both. It's just a case of keeping it in balance.
Right. Well, and obviously it makes sense. Like if you're planning your goal for the whole year, maybe you can chunk it down into, I need to do this in the fourth quarter and the third quarter or things like that too. But then that quarter still is 3 months, and then maybe you're figuring it out like, okay, well, to do this in these 3 months, I have to do this every month, but then you've got to do something every week or every day, So again, that can feel really overwhelming to someone who is not really good at that.
Yeah. I don't do it a lot because planning has now become something fairly intuitive to me. But with a number of clients, I've used a 30, 60, 90-day plan. That these are the things we have to get done in 30 days. And then you break them down into smaller chunks and smaller chunks and smaller chunks and smaller chunks. And breaking it right down to the simplest level. I love the one thing concept. What is one thing I can do right now? So that really simplifies it. And to add the I guess the qualifier, what is one thing I can do right now that will make a positive difference to my business, a positive contribution? And again, it could be just taking a breath, taking a break, taking a break. But it's a case of really knowing yourself. And too many breaks isn't going to get you there. But
Right.
I'm also fairly holistic in that we need the body, mind, and spirit involved.
Mhm.
And sometimes, sometimes our spirit needs a boost from the environment or some kind of a meaningful service. Sometimes we need rest,
Mhm.
and sometimes we need solitude. Other times we need nose to the grindstone, get it done. So knowing what's right, and I think a lot of people. For whatever reason, maybe it's because everything's happening so fast. We tend to act impulsively and instinctively, and instead of really taking 10 seconds to say, "Now, how is this possible?" It's bam, and then we create a mess we've got to undo.
Mhm.
Or bam, and then we go down another rabbit hole that's going to keep us there for days. So maybe it's just a case of learning to take 10 deep breaths before making a decision.
Mm.
I know that's hard. But it's incredibly powerful.
Mhm. So getting to the marketing side of things, again, a lot of us don't have, the expertise in that area, but we do have to get the word out about our business. So what are some effective ways for entrepreneurs to share about their services without even having the marketing knowledge?
Well, I went through that. I a number of years ago, I listened to a webinar on marketing, and I wanted to learn some copywriting. And these two guys, they were good. I mean, between the two of them, they generated millions and millions of dollars worth of revenue. But they're going on and on and on. And every other phrase was, "If you do it my way, you're going to be successful. You do it my way."
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, this is so much. I can't do that.
Mhm.
I'm an introvert. I can't go out and schmooze 18
Mhm.
hours a day. I have
Mhm.
trouble schmoozing an hour a day.
Right.
And so I backed off, and I'm thinking, why in heaven's name can't we market authentically? Why can't I show my best stuff? And during the course of this brainstorming, for lack of a better term, I thought, wait a minute. Marketing services for a service provider is really nothing more than making friends. There's
Mm.
the personal relationship and there's the professional relationship. But if people like us, they might hire us. But if they don't, they won't. So it starts with likability. So if it starts with likability, hey, that's friendship. So
Mhm.
it's all about attracting clients the same way we make friends. So if you wanted to make friends with somebody that just moved into the neighborhood, are you going to go out and yell and scream at them and lie at them? No.
Mm-mm.
You're going to be your true self. You're going to, hey, how are you? Welcome to the neighborhood. You like it here, blah, 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 and start to make the friends. And once the friendship is established, you're not going to push, well, some of us do, but you're not going to push things out. It's a case of building the friendship. Oh, you're going to be away. I'll cut the grass for you when you're gone, that kind of thing. Continuing to help them. And as business people, we're not really pushing our services. We're just helping our clients.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
cross-sell or an upsell, yeah, it can be bad, it can be pushy. But if you've got something that will help the client, if we have something that will help the client even more, even better. Bookkeepers, for example, if bookkeepers, doing the books, with some tax training, that makes the tax preparation a heck of a lot easier.
Mhm.
That's,
Right.
in some respects, that's upsell, but it's just providing an extra service to the client.
Mhm.
So it's a
Right.
case of instead of trying to instead of seeing clients as instead of seeing the client relationship as adversarial, it's a collaborative kind of a thing that we want to
Mhm.
do everything we can for the clients. And if it involves encouraging to buy more of our services, we're entitled to be paid for that if we deliver the value.
Mhm.
And clients will love it. Again, just with their friends, going the extra mile to do something they may not have thought about. And
Right.
it's not they don't want it, they may not have thought about it. So it's
Mhm.
education.
Well, and some people are teaching, you go out there and you message them and you tell them, book a call with me and I could do that, and you don't even know if they need that service, right? So do you have any tips for someone who maybe is hearing from someone else about, these aggressive tactics that really turn others off when they're first, meeting someone? I know you said build that friendship, but in terms of, let's say, they're on LinkedIn and they want to build that connection, like, do you have any recommendations of how they could go about doing that and not come off as too pushy?
Yeah, I think it comes back to, and LinkedIn is a good example there. It comes back to really knowing who you are, really being your brand. What makes you distinctive? We are all unique. Everyone, you get 10 bookkeepers and you're going to have 12 personalities. So we are all unique.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a case of recognizing our uniqueness, building on it, and then taking that one step further and helping clients understand how this uniqueness benefits them.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, I've always, and this started when it's practicing law. I haven't been comfortable as a professional. It's too cold sounding to me. So I've never really used labels. I try to avoid labels. And so what I've tried to do is just be more of a friend than anything else, and I help them understand why this helps them. And so, as a lawyer, for example, I would say, yeah, you're seeing me as a lawyer, and I've got lots of legal skills, but you see me in an hour, and I'm going to be with my dog, or you see me tomorrow, I'm going to be with my kids. Today, I have these skills, and this is what I'm doing for them. And what I'm doing is I'm not selling you anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm helping you learn how to look after the situation yourself. So instead of me waving some magic wand and making this problem go away, I'm helping you understand what the issue is, and so that you can do it yourself. And what distinguishes me from other lawyers is that many lawyers will just tell you what to do. And I said, I won't go there. I hate being told what to do, so I'm not going to tell my clients what to do.
Right.
I will give you 2 or 3 alternatives, and I will explain what the options are, and then I will help you implement them. But if you want me to tell you what to do, you got the wrong lawyer, or you got the wrong coach, you got the wrong consultant, because I don't do that. I was going to say, it's just helping them understand that my approach, which is empowering, why that helps them. And some people don't want that. Some people want do this, do that, the other thing, and that's fine, because there are professionals who deliver that service. Sorry, I just wanted to finish that thought.
It just made me think of when I was first starting my business. I had gone to a conference, and the speaker there was talking about how he had, this hugely successful business, and, you have to do all these things to be successful. But he also mentioned he'd been divorced 3 times, right? And so I was thinking for myself, my marriage is going to be more important than my business. So obviously, I don't want to take the advice that he has and say, well, you have to do X, Y, Z. So I think, when you're being given advice, you really have to look at it and see, is it a match for, you personally, for the business that you're trying to grow? Like,
absolutely.
Does it make sense,
Absolutely, and consistently. Once I got over the initial challenge of getting cash flow, and it really wasn't all that hard. I was very careful in who I chose as clients, and I think I only wanted as clients people who would probably be friends. I can be friends just about anybody, but I didn't want as a client somebody I wouldn't get along with. I wouldn't want somebody who's be second guessing me or taking issue with me. I don't, I can be challenged. I'm not absolute, but if somebody, I say something and they decide to do something else and then blame me, I'm not going there.
Right.
Life's too short. And my health and well-being is too important to deal with those kinds of things. So I've been fairly selective in who I've dealt with. An issue with a publisher just came up, and I said, I don't need you. Go away. I just don't need this aggravation. So I've learned to say no, and that's really scary to say no, but it is so freeing and so liberating.
Well, and that could be hard if someone's just starting out their business and they feel I need the customers, right? But like you're saying, if you can choose, it makes the relationship so much better. And I have a lot of people that I feel like I call them my friends too. They're clients, have been clients for a long time, but, I also want to help promote their business. I'll say, oh, I loved this restaurant. Their food is amazing. If you're in the area, but, I want to share about their business too and help support them because we have built that relationship, and it is so important, I think.
It's a collaborative thing. It's not a one-way street. It's not adversarial. It's totally collaborative. What goes around comes around, and it works. It works.
Exactly. Well, I know we are coming close to the end of the time that we have together. So I would love for you to say, like, do you have an offer that you would like to share with our listeners? And if they want more information and they want to contact you, how can they reach you?
Well, that's one of the best questions today. What I've done with my website, instead of setting it up as yet another information dump, I've kind of tried to set it up as a decision making process. And so when people go to my website, the landing page will be a whole bunch of questions. If you want this, go here. You want this, go here. You want to hit this, go there. So that directing them to specific resources that will help. And by way of thank you gifts, because I appreciate people having taken time to listen to the podcast, there's really two offers there. One is a free book called 26 Ways for Service Professionals to Get More New Business. That's on Amazon, I think. Yeah, it's on Amazon. But don't go there. I mean, go to Amazon to find out what it's about, but download it. Go to my website, and it's a direct download, no email address needed, anything like that. So there's all sorts of 26, A to Z, right? A to Z. So that's covered. And the other one is a book that I just finished, I guess, in December. New Beginnings and New Opportunities. And this is for people that want to let go of some things and move on. Maybe it's time to let go of the way they've been doing something. It's a book that I initially wrote in the pandemic, and I've resurrected it now. I think a lot of us are ready to make transformations in our lives, but we're not really too sure how to go about it. And that's a freebie as well. Just go to the landing page of the website and follow the link. And if somebody doesn't know there's anything on if somebody doesn't find anything that's on the website that really resonates with them, there's a link there to get in touch with me. And I've all sorts of other things available, but the website or LinkedIn is the best place.
Okay. And can you say that website address?
Sure. LarryEasto.com. My name is, the last name is spelled East with an O on the end, and it's .com.
Perfect. Well, Larry, thank you for being a guest on my show and talking on this topic. I really appreciate your taking the time to chat with me today.
That was fun. Thank you.
And to the listener, if you enjoyed today's topic and you want to hear additional information, you can find access to exclusive content in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in today. Would you please share this episode with those you know and leave a review on your favorite platform? And if you find our show informative, would you consider being a financial sponsor to help me continue my mission to educate business owners? A link is located in the episode description, and no amount is too small. I'd really appreciate your support. If you are interested in connecting with our guest and receiving the offer they had to share, a link to our resource page is in the show notes. Finally, if you have any bookkeeping or payroll needs, reach out to us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. My team and I are eager to assist you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Biz Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next time. Have a terrific day.